The second type of sign is an index, an indice, an indication. I've seen all these words used in the writings of this. And Peirce starts off this section by saying, but pictures alone, pure likenesses, can never convey the slightest information. And so we need something more to interpret that meaning. And it goes beyond words. We start using sounds and gestures and other sensory depictions to frame up a point of reference or to indicate that we are meaning something else. And we'll go into that a little bit. And what we've got here on the screen with the smoke and fire, smoke indicates fire. And it could be that we know this from our past experiences. We have seen smoke before, and we know and we saw later that it caused fire. So now that we can make a connection in our mind, we know that smoke indicates fire. And so we talk about this in different ways. And he gives a story in the book of a man. There are two men talking. I'll go back to using men. There are two men talking. One owns a house, and one he's trying to describe this to. And so the first man says, hey, do you see my house? And the other man says, what house? And because he is able to point and says that house, kind of indicating maybe on top of a hill or wherever it is, he uses his words as well as his gestures to indicate, to build a frame of reference that he's able to know, he's able to further understand. And he talks about how a point on a map has no relevance unless, if you don't know anything around it, if you have no indication of what any of these places are, of what this line, which indicates a road, is, then it means nothing to you. And so you build that frame of reference. You pick out a point. Okay, I know what this is on the map. It's so many miles away. Mileage indicates distance. And so you're able to work it out in your mind. There are so many different types of examples here. Some have, you can see it, you know it, and some have different meanings. He talks about how a thunderbolt indicates something is going on outside. A thunderbolt can indicate rain, it can indicate a storm, it can indicate lightning. There are many frames of reference, but it's where the interpreter stands on that to build that frame of reference. And yeah, if you go through the book, there are so many examples of indications. It's still a little confusing at times because there can be just words. Just words can be an indication. We'll go into that in symbols more. But a sundial or a clock indicates the time of day. Geometricians mark letters against the different parts of their diagrams and then use those letters to indicate parts. We've seen a diagram can indicate something. Math problems can be indicators. If you go through the book, there are lots that he showed us. But I think my favorite and what kind of connected to me was the smoke indicates fire, and the temperature or the thermometer indicates temperature and things like that. So now we're going to go into our third type of sign.